All over the United States and all over the world, relationships are going through their ups and downs right now. The Oxygen 365 podcast brings you some of the best relationship advice, thinking, and practical ideas available. Advice you can act on this moment, or tonight, tomorrow, or when you need it the most. Our collection of interviews with some of the top authors, speakers, and leaders in all aspects of relationships can help you grow, get through a trouble spot, or make an already good day great. Get ready to join our host, Noel Metter, as he interviews our guests each week, bringing you the best and most current information on improving your relationships. Whether you're dating, engaged, newly married, empty nesters, or in the thick of a problem, you're sure to gain something from our interview today. So without further delay, here's Noel with today's guest and a ton of solid, practical relationship advice.
Welcome to Oxygen 365. I'm your host, Noel Metter, and this is episode 11. And today our guest is Dr. Dorothy Guy Bonvillain, and she has spent over 4 decades serving the military as a military spouse to her husband. She's a coach, a speaker, author of several books, including the one that we're going to focus on today, which is Loving Your Life, 7 Steps to Military Wives. She's a trainer in the personal, professional development, transformational leadership space, and cross-cultural competencies. And I think one of the distinguishing things about Dorothy is that she is a mentor to military wives everywhere. So Dorothy, thank you for being on the show with us. Welcome.
I am delighted, Noel, to be here. I'm ready to share.
Awesome. Well, hey, on today's show, we're really going to be looking at some specific actionable advice about military spouses' inner circle and finding their purpose and dream. And so I want to just jump right in there. You know, in your book, you talk about this inner circle. What is it? What does that mean?
Inner circle it's a concept that most people aren't aware of. And I went all the way through a doctoral program, and I wasn't aware of the importance of the inner circle. So the quote that I like to use most is from Jim Rohn, and he says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with."
To create a perspective of here's how I can bring value. It can add value to other people.
That's right.
Which generally aligns with our dreams, our goals, our purpose in life is when we figure out how can we bring value to someone else, right?
Yes, yes.
You know what I think, though, is so interesting in how you've kind of framed this in your book of starting with that inner circle. The importance of that is so often, I think the dream inhibitor is that we have our own scripts that subconsciously or consciously we begin to identify with, and we've essentially said, this is my lid and I can't go any further. It's those limiting beliefs. And it's that inner circle who comes in and says, you know what? I see potential that you're not seeing right now. And this is the dream that I want to launch you into. I mean, to me, that's what I think that you are communicating in the essence of your book and who you are, which I just want to say thank you. Thank you for how you are coming alongside these military spouses to really instill and offer and bring value into this area of their lives, because I think this is the missing point. This is the missing ingredient that many of us wander around in life, and we know that we're connected to something bigger than ourselves, that there's more purpose for us, but we don't oftentimes know how to get there. And this is huge.
No, I have one more important exercise, okay? And this really has to do with beginning to identify your larger vision or getting to that purpose, okay? That God-given purpose that, like you're saying, we feel it inside. We don't know how to identify it. We don't know how to get there. Mm-hmm. And here's one way to get there. Take a journal. Journaling, that's a discipline, and it's not easy for people. Writing is a difficult task, but it's so worthwhile. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So take a journal. Each day, get up and take even 30 minutes a day and write your vision, okay? And now this is, let your imagination go free, but make it detailed. Write in a perfect world, with all the resources that I needed, what would it look like? What would that look like? Write it every day, write it fresh every day. Keep writing it, keep writing it. This is what brought me to my clarity for serving military wives, okay? I had no idea when I started out in this. I had so many things I knew I wanted to do, and I wanted to bring value to people, but I didn't know who they were, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. This is how I got there. So you write it every day, and you do that. I did it for several weeks. I had a coach working with me. I highly recommend somebody having that mentor coach. Mm-hmm. So you write the vision, and then after you've gotten real detailed about it, and it feels right. You know when it's right. You know when it's you. Mm-hmm. You're in the middle of that, okay? Then you record it into your iPhone. You know, most young military wives in particular, you know, they have their iPhone. They're much more savvy than me. But I would record it into my iPhone. I would send it to my coach. And then we'd talk about it. A mentor, a coach, talk about it. Keep getting the details. After you get to a certain point, then and this is where you're talking about these limiting beliefs, because they're below our conscious level.
Right.
But they drive our behavior.
Sure. And
our dream.
Right.
So then after I recorded it and sent it to him, and we talked about it for a while, then I recorded it, and then I played it back right before I went to sleep, so that my subconscious mind heard my own voice describing my dream, my vision for serving military wives in great detail. And when I started out, Noel, I did not know this at all. This came out of that exercise.
Wow. So you were kind of rewriting the script in a subconscious way by doing this exercise.
I was rewriting the script in my mind and in my heart, in my subconscious,
that's
blowing
powerful.
Away those limiting beliefs, because we all have them.
Right.
You know?
Sure. Absolutely.
We all have them.
Well, Dorothy,
so
I want to say
that's where it came from.
That's so. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your own personal journey, because I think that's so relatable, right? We all have our own lids, and we all have our own scripts, and we're constantly coming against that. And it's when we finally realize that we can't do this alone. Like, we need to invite other people into this process, but careful in who we invite into that, right? Are they going to be the ones that
very intentional?
Are they going to be the ones that continue to put the lid over the top of us and saying, no, you don't, you shouldn't, you can't? Or are they going to be saying, no, I see potential, opportunity, and vision and dreams that are bigger than what you could ever imagine? And I think that's what you're sharing with our listeners. And thank you. I truly thank you for what you're doing and what you're bringing to this community. It's so valuable. Hey, if you want to know more about her book, we have all the information right below this video. And so Dorothy, thank you, and take care.
Thank you, Noah. I love it.
Okay. Bye-bye.